Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how do you do? I do hope that we are always in a good condition and happy situation. Amin. Okay guys, let me introduce myself. My name is Khoirun Fauziyah and my partner is Gita Ayu A.P. We are from class E and in this opportunity we are going to explain about research variable. A variable is a concept, a noun that stands for variation within a class of objects, such as chair, gender, eye color, achievement, motivations, or running speed. Variables are therefore the names that are given to the variance we wish to explain, and it is very essential to the research for the way the researcher uses or handles them in the research process could determine the nature and direction of the research. Next is operational definition. Operational definition is a definition given to a variable to give an indicator or specifications about the activities in measuring the variable by Ferdinand in 2006. It's arranged, an analyst must choose what factors will be the protest or point of consideration in his research. Variable could be a concept that includes a variety in value. Any concept as long because it features an estimate can be called a variable, and bad habit first in the event that there is no variety in its estimate within the concept. It isn't included within the variable category. Next is types of variables. There are 6 types of variables. First is independent variable, second is dependent variable, third is extraneous variable, fourth is moderator variable, fifth is intervening variable, and the sixth is controlling variable. First, independent variable. The controlled variable, which in a few occurrences might be more than one in number, is alluded to as the independent variable. Based on the previous paper, it's written that independent variable can influence the dependent variable positively or negatively. Second is dependent variable. The variable which is anticipated to be influenced by the control is called the dependent variable. On the other hand, a dependent variable is the outcome variable, which is caused in total or in part by the input antecedent variable. This is a major assumption among the researchers and statisticians. Okay, and here are a few examples of some possible relationship between selected independent variable and a dependent variable. In the independent variable are gender, mathematical ability, gang membership, and test anxiety. And in the dependent variable are musical aptitude, career choice, subsequent marital status, and test performance.
Okay, next is about extraneous variable. Typically, an extraneous variable is either assumed or avoided from the examination but must be controlled because it is meddling with the relationship between the subordinate and independent variables, or are independent variables that have not been controlled. Okay, next, the examples that contain extraneous variables. For example, if a researcher includes only boys as the subjects of a study, she is controlling the variable of gender. We would say that the gender of the subjects does not vary. It is a constant in this study. Then, moderator variable. A moderator variable is a special type of independent variable. It is a secondary independent variable that has been selected for study in order to determine if it affects or modifies the basic relationship between the primary independent variable and the dependent variable. The examples of research questions that contain moderator variables. Research question 1. Does anxiety affect this performance, and if so, does it depend on test-taking experience? Independent variable, anxiety level. Moderator variable, test-taking experience. Dependent variable, test performance. Research question 2. Do high school students taught primarily by the inquiry method perform better on tests of critical thinking than high school students taught primarily by the demonstration method, and If so, does it vary with grade level? Independent variable instructional method, moderator variable grade level, dependent variable performance on critical thinking tests. Next, intervening variable. The intervening variable acts like an interface between the independent and dependent variable and in a way accounts for the causal relationship between them. The intervening variable or moderator variable can modify or influence the strength of a relationship between two other variables. A mediator variable is one that attempts to explain the relationship between the two other variables. The examples that contain intervening variables. Forecast inquire about work which centers on the affiliation between administration honors and staff efficiency may have an interceding variable like work fulfillment. As such, the mediating variable capacities like a subordinate variable to the free variable administration honors and at the same time like a free variable to the subordinate variable. The last controlling variable. Control variable is the effect of such variables that can affect the cause and effect relationship of dependent and independent variable is eliminated. Control variable is a free variable that the dependent variable is controlled by the researcher by neutralizing the effect. In other words, free a variable which is allowed to be various in the beginning. Now is limited to minimize or omit the variation. The examples that contain controlling variables. For example, if researcher defines a problem as a study of value awareness of male students of urban, rural, and semi-urban secondary schools of Ahmedabad district, the variable gender will become controlled variable because in this case, he does not want to check the impact of gender on value awareness as he will take only boys as sample. For this study, classification of variable will be as shown in the table 3. Okay, that's all explanation from our group about the research variable. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.